his level of conscious awareness. He experiences being awake mentally, a state which the mundane only experience after large amounts of coffee or other stimulants. The spirits or demons he calls upon exist within his subjective mind and respond to his invocations. As a magician progresses in the magical art, he gains control over his emotions and experiences more peaks than lows. The objective existence of spirits or demons does not need to be proven in order to show the effectiveness of magic. Parapsychologists have shown, through years of research and investigation which only the most cynical will deny, the definite existence of telepathy or mental communication. The human brain operates, like a radio, receiving the brain waves broadcast by others of similar frequency. For this reason, telepathy is most common among close friends or family members. A magician may be seen, then, as someone who has converted the receiver of his brain into a transmitter. At first he may only be able to influence those who are on a similar frequency to his own or will have to learn how to change frequency in order to influence those on different frequencies. But the more powerful his transmitter becomes, the more people he will be able to influence directly. The quickest and most direct route to the brain is through the optic nerve. Mental transmissions from the brain are sent through the optic nerve to the eyes and out through the eye cavities. This is the origin of the evil eye and fascination, as well as the expression the eyes are the window to the soul. In the Middle Ages, witch hunters used to remove the eyes of witches, so that they would not be able to look upon them and curse them. Once a magician has acquired control of his own mental states, through ritual magic, and has converted the receiver in his brain into a transmitter, he is able to influence rather than be influenced. He may even feel contempt for those who are led around upon rash emotional whims without the slightest balance or direction. Many people carry around with them subconscious masochistic tendencies, causing them to do things which will bring pain or misery upon themselves. In magical terminology, this is called a curse. In its most severe form, the human mind becomes unbalanced, resulting in mental illness, paranoia, psychosis, or schizophrenia. Many people have cursed themselves or have been cursed by others, either intentionally or unintentionally. Wishing to place a curse on his enemy, an accomplished magician, someone who has mastered the mental states of his consciousness, may enter into a ritual chamber, enter into a waking state in which his mind is fully active, invoke a spirit of destructi. The dynamic universe. In considering the true nature of God, one must first consider the nature of man and of the universe. for without understanding himself or the universe in which he lives, how can man approach an understanding of God? Each man possesses a consciousness independent of any other creature. He is aware of a separation between himself and the world around him. He experiences images, sounds, scents, tastes, and physical forms through what he perceives as his physical body. He also experiences thoughts, emotions, and other phenomena which do not manifest either visibly or audibly but which influence him nonetheless and which he perceives as coming from within his consciousness. From the earliest times, man has attempted to reconcile this condition of separation from the universe. Early man, in terror of the images and sounds which bombarded him from all directions and of the earth which seemed ready to swallow him once more, as if the universe itself realized that it had made a terrible mistake, scared of this thing called life and yet equally scared of death, began to imagine hideous gods and demons all about him. These monsters, which roared with anger and surely had the power to destroy him, would have to be appeased or else death could be imminent. As man survived fire and flood, disease and famine, the anxiety he felt concerning his condition lessened. Man learned to live and even thrive in a hostile and evil world. Civilizations rose to power and rose up animistic deities, as gods who now demanded worship and sacrifice in return for their beneficence and blessing. The threat was no longer against an individual man but against an entire society. To gain the favor of the gods, these deities had to be appeased or else famine, pestilence, or war might come upon a nation and destroy it. Ultimately, the priests of many of these gods decided that their particular deity was the true God, that all other gods were devils, and that the followers of other gods had to be converted or destroyed. Egypt was decimated by the Assyrians, as they attempted to eliminate the earlier religion of Set. In the Middle East, the Hebrews went to war with the surrounding nations to annihilate them. Out of the cults of Baal and Osiris, Tammuz and Muzi, Mithra and Zoroaster, arose a sacrificial god religion which would dominate Europe for centuries to come. The age of paganism had ended and the age of theocracy had begun. Long after the purpose of the gods they represented had passed, theocracies used their divine authority to wage religious wars against supposed infidels and persecutions of non-believers. Many people today have rejected the established religions of the past. This is natural, when you consider that, while society has changed, the teachings and doctrines of these religions have not changed in over 1,000 years. Many cannot reconcile the values and beliefs of society with the values and beliefs of the dominant religions within society.